it would create an opportunity for me to bond with a woman. It would create a resistance to the shame because I'd be open about it and kind of face it in the moment. Like this beautiful girl whose opinion obviously I care about to a certain extent, I'm telling her that I'm having trouble getting up. But then it made her feel better about herself because I stressed on top of it that it's not you, babe. You're beautiful, you're sexy, look at you. Hey guys, Hector Castillo Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about ED, not being able to get your dick hard. And in this video, I want to focus on how is she reacting to it? What does she think? What do most women think about you when you can't get it up? Do they think less of you, or do they think it's them and they get insecure? Are they gonna see you again? Because sometimes in the past, I would have trouble getting it up, and then it would cause some not so great feelings, and I would have trouble seeing the girl again. But other times I'd be able to see her again, and we'd eventually have sex. So I want to go into the psychology of her perspective of seeing you and being there with you when you're going through that problem, and how to react in the moment. And it's also going to be a huge way, in my experience, that you do get over ED, because I've made another video about it, and I'll put it in the description below. Normal, like, do this, think about this, focus on this, that most guides about erectile dysfunction are gonna focus on practical tips, right? This I wanna go over it's a meta perspective. ED in and of itself, is it something to be ashamed about? Which is also probably some different videos have covered to get you over it. But I really want to focus on like the woman's perspective. What is she thinking? What is she feeling? And as with anything in seduction, if you spend enough time with women, you can ask them directly what they're thinking or feeling, but you may not always get the clearest picture because people aren't always self-aware, women or men. But eventually, if you speak to enough women and you experience enough things with enough women, you're gonna be able to learn, just like with social skills in general, you'll pick up on cues. How are people really feeling? And then you see their actions afterwards to see if their words and true beliefs match up. So just as a general top down, like to make you feel better, but it's also the truth, for the most part, when it comes to not getting your dick hard and not performing in the moment, most of her negative feelings about this situation are not directed towards you. Are there some instances where the girl's gonna think you're a loser, you know, you're a wimp, you're not a real man, you can't get it up? Sure. But I would say even if there's an instance where a woman really thinks that, or even says it, never experienced her like saying it, but thinks it maybe, it could still be a little bit of a defense mechanism, like putting the problem on you. Because in my experience, and from the experience of my clients, the ones who had this problem were able to talk to the women, and that's what I advised them to do. So they would have a moment, ED. One client in particular, it's one of the most interesting cases I've had. Cases, I'm like a psychiatrist, but super good looking guy. And he was having a few serious troubles with women, and one of them was ED. And I just like pounded it into his brain. I really stressed to him, dude, just talk to them about it. And he eventually fucking listened to me because he's really stubborn. But he eventually listened to me. And what he said was exactly what I've experienced. The women would either admit, or it would be obvious, that it was actually them feeling bad. Like they felt bad about themselves rather than feeling bad about him, which was a shock because, of course, in his mind, I'm a loser, I can't get it up, I'm a pussy, you know, I don't deserve to have a cock, you know, I should have a pussy. They would be insecure that they weren't hot enough, beautiful enough, sexy enough, cute enough, seductive enough, smart enough, interesting enough, whatever. They would feel bad about themselves because me getting hard is a reflection of whatever thing it is that's making me hard. So they would feel bad about themselves. And he found that out for himself at my behest, stressing to him, talk to them about it. Because it does two things. First of all, when you have something that makes you insecure, if you're open about it, it's a very quick way to get over it. Like your biggest, greatest fears, like if you were able to talk to people about it, it's not practical in every circumstance. But if you were able to really be open about your fears and phobias, especially to the people who you have them about, and just laid it out there, even if that person like, oh, you're a bitch, I can't believe you feel that way, or da-da-da-da-da, it would lose power, because if you were able to do it and kind of withstand and endure the shame or the pain or whatever that comes with it, you build up a tolerance to it, and it could even help it just completely go away. So what I would do in some instances, I would do my ED tricks, and sometimes it would work, right? But one particular situation where it wouldn't work a lot was when I was high. It's one of the reasons why I quit smoking weed. It's been a while now. I'll make a video on that too, on going sober and all the experiences that have happened afterwards. But I would really have trouble getting out when I was high. So that was one of the times when, if it happened, I would be really open with that girl. And plus, when you're high, you're already, anxious or paranoid, or at least I get that way. And it would create an opportunity for me to bond with a woman. It would create a resistance to the shame, because I'd be open about it and kind of face it in the moment. Like this beautiful girl whose opinion obviously I care about to a certain extent, I'm telling her that I'm having trouble getting up. But then it made her feel better about herself, because I stressed on top of it that it's not you, babe. You're beautiful, you're sexy, look at you. Like, I was hard just a few moments ago, but then the moment I needed to perform was when it became hard. So it's not you, seriously, it's me. Like, I don't know, it's happened, you can tell her it's happened to you a few times. Okay, so what do you do, right? So it doesn't get up. It's hard to get it hard. How do you actually express that? Well, you can, I'm not saying, you shouldn't just like start bawling, right? But you should just go, God damn it. If you can be as calmly insecure as possible, that's the best scenario. Like, you're showing enough emotion that it's not fake, it's real, but you want to put a cap on it. You don't want to be like a bitch. There's I've talked about this in my vulnerability video, which I'll also put a link in the description below. And it kind of fits into this. It's an extension, a specific scenario of this. You want to show vulnerability and I guess weakness to a certain extent, but not go full, retard with it. So yeah, this is embarrassing, right? But it's happened to me before. It kind of sucks. It's kind of weird. I obviously think you're really attractive, so it's 100% not you. So let's try a few different things. If you're cool with that, I don't know, you can suck me off. We can just relax. I don't put pressure on myself. Talk through her with it. See how she feels about it. But really, don't say like, "Oh, do you think less of me?" It's just. Just stress two things and be honest about it, and it's not you. And how exactly you explain that, you got to come up with your own little script. But how I would do it, right? Let's see, can I think of a scenario that I have memory of specifically? One girl I remember, we were kind of drunk, got back to my place, started fooling around, taking her pants off, and then it just hit me. And usually when I'm drunk, it doesn't hit me. It's very rare when I'm drunk. But it did hit me in this one specific scenario. I don't know why. But we started fooling around, and then I had trouble getting it up, so I just kept trying to stall. And since I was drunk, I wasn't as in control of my emotions. And I obviously started getting upset in some way. Maybe it was my vibe, or she could read it on my face. And she could see I wasn't able to get up, and she's like, "Oh, maybe this was a mistake." And then I immediately remembered times when it happened and that I'd done this, and I went, wait. All right, lay down on the bed, trying to get as clear of a picture. And I just started telling her, I'm like, "Look, I promise it's not you. I was doing my little drunk soapbox, right? I'm just like, I promise it's not you, it's just me. I'm just really nervous because I really like you, really pretty. And yeah, it's just, how about, we just I don't know, you suck my dick, or we just it's cool, I promise it's not you, you're fucking beautiful, look at you." Start kissing her, right? Make her feel like, tell her it's not her, but make her feel like it's not her. Just go overboard, "Oh, look at you, you're so beautiful." Grab her ass, spank her ass, "Look at that beautiful pussy, look at those beautiful lips." Really express to her that it's not her. And then do whatever you gotta do. Have her suck you off. One thing that works for me, actually, I did this one time. I was about to have a threesome, and I was actually kind of nervous about it. And so the one girl that I was who's my lover, she started sucking my dick. And the girl that we had picked up together, she had gone to take a shower, got out, and she was looking so fucking hot. And we got on the bed, and my dick was starting to get hard, but then I started having like, what if you fuck this up, anxieties. And I was like, God damn it, you know, everything's working fine physically. And then just this intrusive thought has to get me, and then my OCD kicks in. And I'm like, whoa, no. I'm just gonna focus on kissing her. So I had my girl sucking my dick, and then I was laying down with the other girl and just started making out. And I was just focused on the making out. Like just the romance, the cuteness of it, just like, oh, I'm kissing this beautiful girl that I met today. Dick got hard, right? So do the steps you gotta do that are in the video that I suggested. Again, it's in the description below. Or any video that gives you good advice, it can work. But by expressing to a girl that it's not her and kind of facing the insecurity and the vulnerability, those tips are gonna have a 10 times magnified effect. And even if it doesn't work out, let's say worst case scenario, you still can't get it up, there's a strong chance you're gonna see her again, which my client who's texting me, he's like, I'm so surprised these girls are staying around. The one that I referenced earlier, the really good looking one. These girls are staying around even though he's only fingering them, eating them out, giving them a great time, but there was an obvious hiccup in the process, but they didn't lose any stride because they knew it wasn't them. And so that demonstrates that if a girl sees you as a high value guy and cool guy, sexy guy, obviously enough to a certain extent to be about to sleep with you, the only problem was a malfunction, that won't be lessened by you not being able to get it up. It may even have the opposite effect. It may make you more attractive because, you know, there's a vulnerability or a weakness, Most of the time when you have trouble seeing her again or she like loses respect for you, it's actually a defense mechanism of her, like, she may think it's her and then go, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna reject you before I reject myself, kind of hurt people so I don't feel hurt thing that people do with their fucked up psychologies. We all do it. So she's going to think less of you, or may even not be, but you're in your head thinking that. But most of the time, she's not actually feeling that way. Or if she is, it's probably a defense mechanism. Most of the time, it's a feeling of, I'm not sexy enough. It would be like a girl not getting wet. You would feel some type of way about yourself. You wouldn't think less of her. Same goes for the converse, okay? And you fix that by being open with her about it. And then when you are open with her about it, it creates the environment for you to better overcome it. Because when situations are more truthful and more transparent, they tend to be more efficient and work better. That's my experience, that's my client's experience, and hopefully that's gonna be your experience. So if you have trouble getting it up, realize that women really don't care that much. If she thought you were sexy enough to have sex with you, she's not gonna like drop 1,000 points of attraction and reject you. Most of the time, it's gonna be because you reacted in the wrong way. So be cool with it, maybe even laugh at yourself, be a little bit vulnerable, a little bit sad, but not so much because vulnerability has its limits, but be open about it and talk to her through it, have her help you overcome it. Then you guys are working as a team to solve this hard problem. And then hopefully doing whatever things you have to do, or just the fact that you were open about it may be the final trigger needed to kind of circumvent whatever like anxiety, paranoia block that's happening in your fucking neurons or in your consciousness, and finds a different way around it and gets to the point where it's open and free, and then the blood rushes to the dick, and then business happens. So give it a try. But women don't really think that less of you, I promise. I've had enough experiences with it that I can guarantee that even if you don't fuck her this time, if you take care of what I told you to take care of, you can probably see her again, but hopefully you fix it in the moment and you perform to the best of your ability. So good luck, soldiers. This is Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, try out my tips, and let me know in the comments below if they work. Love you guys. Have a good day. See you again soon. Ciao.